6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to NXT Round Up Vengeance Day, baby. It is me, your boy, the dad bod god himself, the bald, the beard, the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight I'm joined once again by your orange, ginger, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some cool nicknames, but I'm joined by Rose, everybody. Welcome, Rose, back to NXT Round Up, bro. It's great to have you back for another week. Quite an interesting show, I think, this week. Can you not hear us? Rose is having some audio difficulties. If you click down at the cam and mic button, we can hear you moving. So, guys, while we're working all of this out, let's just take a quick second to thank some of our amazing sponsors. First up is healthvape.com. That is healthvape.com. All of their products are no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals, and they're vitamin infused. Guys, go and check out some of their vape and pod products and check them out, guys. Use that promo code MWAPOD and get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is sleefs.com. That's SLEEFS, sleefs.com. If you or someone you know is an athlete, you need to go and check out sleefs.com. All of their products are absolutely amazing. They've got armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, headbands, knee bands, even dirty boxes. Guys, go and check out sleeves.com and use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Guys, also, you need to check out all of the shows that we have here at the MWA Podcast Network. We've got Killing the Business with ECW Original, The Kingpin, Angel Medina, and King Mega, which is every Friday, 8 p.m. USA Eastern Time. These guys are breaking down every single part of everything that's going on in the world of wrestling, guys, so you do not want to miss it. But then also, guys, you want to make sure that you can tune in for Nights of the Gimmick Table, which is going to be every Wednesday at 8 p.m. USA Eastern, which is Thursday, 12 p.m. That's hosted by the Dead Presidents, Boogaloo and Lowrider, and also Cade Lothbrock. So, guys, make sure you check them out. But without further ado, guys, you really need to make sure that you hit that subscribe button, you hit that bell to stay notified. And if you're listening to us on a podcast platform, please, guys, give us a 5-star review. But, guys, NXT, this week, Vengeance Day, I'm going to start this off. And, while I'm waiting for Rose to rejoin here, for me, NXT this week was really, it was an interesting show. There was a lot of good points from it. There was a few negatives that I could take away from it. But overall, I thought it was a good show. One of the things that, I've said from the get-go really is, NXT being hit and miss every week. And when I say that is sometimes the show can be good and sometimes the show, just is lackluster. It feels like the audience may not be into it, but, look, I digress. Guys, also, the new intro for WWE, as well with John Cena and his, talking over the intro. I was just like, what is going on? It's absolutely insane. We have got Rose trying to join, guys. I do apologize for the issues, but Rose is trying to join in the background. Once we get him joining, Rose, make sure you click that button, cam and mic, and make sure that your mic and cam are selected at the bottom there, bro. But guys, look, getting into it, yeah, as I said, WWE's intro with John Cena's voiceover doing the then, now, forever, and all that. I kind of felt like it was just, I don't know, it was terribly done, and it didn't sound that good, from what I was listening to it. I just think that it could be, it didn't really need that intro. I think the music and it was enough, and the visuals are enough for it. Adding John Cena's voice into it, who knows? It could be a move for them to now look at saying, okay, we want to bring Cena back, so like let's start appeasing his ego a little bit, maybe, who knows. But it's interesting to see that. But the show does start off with Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction doing a taping a texting taping promo thing, where they're texting about the show, putting themselves over, of course. This is like the second week in a row that NXT has really started the show off the same way with Mandy Rose, and it's clear like they're wanting to really push her to the moon, and that's what they're doing. So good luck. It seemed to do well. It was an interesting way to sort of go about it. It does give that sort of schoolyard teenage feel with the texting kind of thing, and all that at the beginning. And again, it's just another point where I think that they almost make these performers look like kids, as whether it should be more of adults. And but anyway, I'm old school. It is what it is. But where is Rose? He's sitting in the background. One sec, guys. One sec. So that's one of the things that it was really interesting to see. So one of the things, guys, Toxic Attraction, did start it off, but the first match that we saw is a weaponized steel cage match. Pete Dunne versus Tony D'Angelo. This was a pretty interesting match. This match was, a weaponized steel cage match. Why couldn't it just be a cage match with weapons? It just seems there to be a lot of, overboard, stuff that they go into this. So, to me, it's look, I just don't understand why they had to word it as a weaponized steel cage match. It sounds awkward, but overall, like I thought, the match in itself, it was good. There was some good violent bits. The butt with the fingers in the faucet, I thought was unbelievable. Hey, Chris, I'm actually going to send you a link. We're having an issue with Rose's thing. If you want to jump on and just banter back and forth. Yeah, look, I thought that the weaponized steel cage match was pretty decent, besides the naming of it. The one of the things I thought was interesting was the handcuffing. Like you look at the handcuffing with the zip ties. I like the spot when he went up for the power bomb and he hooked in the guillotine, but I feel like that spot, like by having him hooked, it sort of was pointless thereafter. Like when he cut him out, I'm sitting there going, to me, like, what was the point of the zip ties? Like, it didn't really do anything to, ultimately contribute
Hello?
much. Rose, welcome back.
Can you hear me? Oh my God, Piers, your website just reached into the soul of my computer and ripped all its insides out at once. It's currently reset. Something happened during your
And
intro. Hello?
yep, you're a bit patchy there, buddy, but
Damn it!
technology, bro. Technology. Two old guys trying to work out. Guess who's back? Back again. Rose is trying to figure out. Maybe disconnect from your Wi-Fi, mate. That usually works for me when I'm using it on
Please
the
work
phone.
now. Please.
You were there. You were there. So I'm just talking about the weaponized
Please
steel
work.
cage match.
Why would you work?
Can you hear me, Rose?
Oh my God. This is me on the edge of insanity right now.
This is this is the MWA
Far
podcast
out.
network, gentlemen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. But getting into the match in itself, like I think as well with this match, when Dunn put D'Angelo through the table, to me, I think that they could have really sold that part a little bit more as well. They could have done a little bit more of like both of them had taken a beating at that stage and really sold it and then gone into the pin. Because I think once the table spot, like, was there really a need for him to hit, his finish on him after that?
I disagree with everything you're saying. Whatever it is you're saying, you're wrong, Piers, because technology will not allow us to enjoy ourselves today. I had the same problem trying to watch this show today, and I was so excited to talk to you about it, and now nothing's working, and I'm ruining your show, and I'm angry about it.
It's all right. We'll bullshit through
Can
until
you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. We're having some technology
Okay,
issues.
good, great.
happen
Sorry,
sometimes.
everything's going wrong.
Yeah, it's all good. These things happen. But look, into this match, Pete Dunne goes over, and I think now is where they're going to try and start to elevate Pete Dunne. I think this match was to do a favor to sort of get D'Angelo up to a NXT level of a performer, and I think in this series of matches and in this feud, he definitely did that. D'Angelo looked strong in this match. There was no point at anything that I think that either like D'Angelo could walk away from this as a loser at all, besides being the actual guy that got pinned. But to be honest, I think that overall it was a great match and fantastically done by D'Angelo. It has been clear since we started. So guys, look, moving on. Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade training vignette. Man, like this is like I saw this, I was like, okay, you're deciding to put this in on a big show. I think rebranding the 205 Live to Level Up is a good thing. I mean, it gives the NXT performers another stage to perform on, and maybe even some of the stars that don't get regular TV time every Tuesday night over in the US, and give more exposure to that. And I think having a show as 205 Live, you're limiting the performers, and even then they weren't just having like cruiserweight matches on 205 Live. So I think overall, like it was probably the right thing to do. Keep the show, change the name up a little bit. NXT Level Up sounds really good, and it works well. But this Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Drain, training thing, very like Rocky type of feeling, waking up at 5 a.m. I find it funny that when some people not some people, I should say, I find it funny, like you'd wake up in the middle of the night and there's like a camera crew just like filming you, waiting for your reaction, and it's like completely normal and no one like is in a completely different world. So besides that, I thought it was it was okay, but again, like I said, bit of a random bit of a random moment, but overall I thought it was somewhat it was okay. It was okay. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just talking with Rose. He'll be back in a second, guys. But anyway, you guys can deal with me for a little bit longer. But everyone watching, I want to know, what were your thoughts of NXT? Like, what were some of your takeaways from the show? What were some of your highlights? Let's do that until we get Rose back here. Let's have a little bit of a back and forth, if you will, guys. So let's see what you have thoughts are of the show. Give me your thoughts, Robbo, of the steel cage match, because you always have an interesting perspective here, guys. So we're just waiting. But guys, as well, make sure you go and check out our amazing sponsors, healthvape.com. Use that promo code MWAPod to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. And also, guys, make sure you check out sleeps.com. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase there as well. Guys, also, if you want to check out some more amazing entertainment, head over to russosbrand.com and check out Wrestling with Tragedy with myself, Angel Medina, and the two-man power trip, John Poz, every single week. What's up, Lowrider? My co-host for the evening is having some internet drama, so I'm sitting here chilling like a villain, brother. But, going over NXT this week, I'm just throwing it out there, getting what everyone else's thoughts are for the show. But, going into it, man, the start of the show was, really entertaining. Here we go. So let's see what Robbie has to say. I really enjoyed the showing of Tony D'Angelo's toughness. Adds another dimension to his character, which I thought was one note in the beginning. I thought so too. It gave him a level of viciousness, Robbo, to the point where it's like when you saw him put the zip ties on, I was like, okay, this is taking this shit to another level. And this is going to get become really, really violent, maybe imitating Cactus Jack and Mankind and The Rock from Royal Rumble 1999, I believe it was. I'm sure people will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was it. But that was one of the things I thought. But I definitely thought they weren't going to go overboard with headshots. Yeah, I thought it was smart with the cable ties, but the thing is, like, when they cut them, I'm like, okay, like, I think the cable tie should have been included in the finish, like, because to me, it's something you don't see all the time, and it's a pretty confronting, pretty violent thing to do, to fucking zip tie a fucking person's hands to their back. But that was just me, Oh, bro, the finger on the, ooh, dude, in the toolbox with the fingers, man. Like, my wife was sitting there watching that with me, and we just fucking jumped. I was like, oh shit! Like, even myself, like, that would have been like, But again, the miracles of professional wrestling and the wonders of television and how they make it work. But to be honest, it was an amazing spot. But one thing I was interested in, and to me, it was Diamond Mine. So Diamond Mind, have a promo with the Creed brothers, and it was just the Creed brothers and Malcolm Bivens. Now, this is like the Creed brothers, we've started to hear them talk a little bit, not really that much, but this was actually a pretty solid promo from the Creed brothers. And, I think that they really got over, what they wanted to get over. They're definitely, the force to be reckoned with. And I think they're just one of, like, they're a sick tag team. You know what I mean? Like, they're new, they're fresh, but still, man, like, they've got a good look. I think they'll go up. And I think that, like, if they go up to the main roster and they're booked correctly, I think that they'll be big stars. And I definitely think Brutus for sure. We put over Brutus last week, really, really big. But also Julius, man, he's got that evilness to him that Chris mentioned last week. And you know what? I was looking out for that, and I noticed that this week. So I was quite interested in that. So here we are.
Yes!
He's back.
Yes, baby! Back from the dead, from the ashes. Oh, I am so sorry.
Bro, I've just done a fucking 20-minute monologue. And everyone's sitting here. I'm going like, I messaged like Chris, and I'm like, hey man, I know you haven't seen the show, but like, can you jump on here, because like, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, Rose is back, you'll be right.
I love Chris's comment. Rose's contribution so far has been top shelf. That's classic Chris Gow right there. Oh man, look, everything just went wrong at once. You know what technology's like. There's nothing on your end. Everything just stopped working during your intro, right? So I was terrified, but I've reset everything and it's fine. And you know what really bums me out is that this is our third week in a row doing this show, and I was so excited to like wrap up everything we've been talking about in the comment. Yeah. I even had the opening line to quote the great Mandy Rose, "Happy Vengeance Day, bitches." I had the which is the best intro to a show I've ever seen. Greatest comeback since Edge at the 2020 Rumble. There you go. I've come back. I started at number 1 and I made it to the end. So my deepest apologies, Piers. But I'm sure your monologue was very engaging.
Oh, it was. Besides, like me sweating here like a motherfucker.
Oh, I felt so bad. Every minute felt like 10. I'm like resetting things, and then I got on my phone, and that didn't work. And then I'm like, smoke coming out of my ears. But where are we up to? What did I miss?
Well, so we're into the first match, the weaponized steel cage match.
Oh.
I was just talking, I was just talking, like, I thought that the match itself was something, like, it was just sensational. Like, this really took me back to a really, really old school violent match. I thought the spot with the zip ties were a little bit, could have been done better. I think that spot, like, it could have been handled a little bit differently. But again, I think overall it was a solid match, and I think Pete Dunne right now they have to decide what they're going to do with Pete Dunne as far as a direction in storyline and development for his character.
Yeah, it was a choice to start with this match, I think, because, like, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of these types of matches, like joint manipulation, like violent maulings with things. Like whenever Randy Orton like wraps up one of Jeff Hardy's ears, I'm like, nope, don't want to see it. And I got the same vibes here with like wrapping fingers in wrenches and stuff. So I was a bit like, already. It's a choice for an opening match, but I get why, because you've got to set up all this and kind of come with this big explosion, which was cool. Like I thought the guys did a great job. It was really physical, but like the kind of match that makes me squirm more than, you know what I mean? Enjoy it, because it's just, I'm like, fingers.
You know what? Like this match, like I kind of enjoyed it. I did say the spot where Dunn put D'Angelo through the table, and I think that they could have slowed that spot down. And it's like, because he did put him through the table, drags him out, hits him with the bitter end, and then he does the pinfall cover. Like for me, I think the table spot should have been done. Sell the fucking punishment that both of you have just gone through. Crawl over. 1, 2, 3. By doing that, without having to do the finish, you're putting D'Angelo over strong, that like he didn't need the finish to be overdo it. You had to crawl over nearly half dead to fucking beat him. You still get over, you're still going over, but you also then get D'Angelo over just that little bit more. Not that he was buried in this match, but I just feel that was a spot they could have just slowed that down about 30 seconds and really made that spot mean so much more.
Possibly, yeah. It felt like a bit of a decisive win to me. I did like the cable tie spot though, and I think the reason why is because when they do something like that, you're kind of like, oh, well, that's it then. And I thought it was a creative way to get out of that. I like the idea of the other guy cuts you loose because he has to save himself. And they kind of did that with the headlock. And then you either pass out or cut me loose, which I quite like. It's that same mentality of the Seth Rollins with his foot on Edge's head. Like, you give me the match or I kill this guy. I like when people go that far, I also really liked the toolbox spot. I thought it was really clever how on a practical level they just cut a little gap below where the lid closes. So when he stomped on it, it doesn't, because let's be honest, if you're that would sever all of your fingers. Like, you would be coming up with nubs. So
my wife watched that spot and she was just like,
yeah, it's close to a magic trick almost. It's a great illusion because they've just kind of cut a finger-sized depth to that size of the toolbox. So when it closes, you don't even see really the gap, but you can on close inspection. Really clever, and it looks amazing and shocked me in the moment because people didn't see it coming, I think. So some really clever, creative stuff, like on a technical level. Someone's built that and thought of that, which is, I think, is cool.
It's just, like I thought like that spot to me, because I think that with wrestling and doing certain spots is like you can do like big like bumps and like you see death matches doing like heaps of violent shit. But I think that like, and I heard this say from a deathmatch wrestler, from a Japanese deathmatch wrestler, Jun Kasai, who said, he goes, the thing is to make the audience understand the pain that you were going through. Because they know what that pain is like. So when he falls on like a thing of knives, which are these knives that every household in Japan has. If you cut your finger on that, it's a fucking bitch. They're so sharp. So like landing on that, they go, oh, that would, you know what I mean? Like they have that understanding of the pain. I think even like there's moments in this match where they did that, like with the hands getting slammed in the thing, because everyone's had their hands slammed in a drawer or, you know, as a kid or whatever during their life. Everyone knows that pain or has that fear of like, oh, fuck, I don't want to get my hand slammed, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. If someone could make their finisher kicking your toe at 2 a.m. on the end of the bed, I'd be terrified of that person. They can win all the titles because that's like everyone can relate to that, right? So yeah, it's great when it's relatable.
Yeah, it's a relatable pain.
Hey, that sounds like a good punk band. Relatable Pain, Christian punk band. Hello, we are Relatable Pain. That song's about Jesus. 2, 3, 4. Jesus. Yeah.
Don't get me started, bro.
Live at the Hometown. Relatable Pain.
I would have put them more of like maybe an emo screamo band.
Relatable Pain. Yeah, I could see that. Some neck tattoos and, you know.
My lips are like razor blades and I'm going to kiss some wrists, man.
Overdressing at award ceremonies, you know, the classic emo tropes.
Oh, God. But, like.
Yeah, fun match, though. Crazy match to start with. Bang. Shot us into the, you know, stratosphere. Yeah. So we're off to the races.
I thought so as well. Then the next match
we
had.
One last thing. Best sound ever when he broke that cricket bat on D'Angelo's back. So I got to mention it because Chris has been pumping up the bats, and that was going for 6 in the Big Bash. That hit.
That was a fucking mean hit, eh?
Crack. Yeah, he hit him perfect. Sorry, continue.
No, absolutely. But our next match was Toxic Attraction versus Indy and Persia. I'll let you have a first crack at this. What did you think of this match overall and throughout it?
I think it's always hard to follow up a stipulation type match that we had at the beginning there. So it's always hard to get it going back into the swing of wrestling. This is why I thought it was such a choice to start the show, because you haven't really set the base tone of what wrestling is yet in the show. Yeah. So it was on all of these guys' responsibilities to do that. And I thought they did a really good job. You know, they brought us back into it. Toxic Attraction are just like firing on all cylinders. They've put 3 talent together that are stronger together. So I think it's really good. Persia and Indy's a different question. They're obviously really good friends and stuff, but are they better together or would they be better individually? And I think it's getting interesting with the storyline. Like, you know, I'm more interested in the storyline around this than necessarily the match. I think there's so many different directions you could go with Indy and Persia, and feeling like they get so close and then they don't get it, then they get so close again in this match and don't get it, and now we've got the Dusty Cup coming up. There's a great potential for them to either finally climb the mountain or for it to finally break under too many strains. And with the love interests, I know not everyone's a fan of the love interest, but for me, it's an interesting way to pull these people who are best friends apart when maybe they necessarily don't want to, or make them stronger together as a big unit. So I'm excited where this will go, but this match wasn't necessarily like the end of it for me. But like there was some great fun moments. Like Persia's killing it, man. Like the double Samoan drop was just awesome.
That was crazy, dude. Like I wasn't surprised they didn't win the straps, to be honest.
No, neither was I.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that because I don't think that they don't deserve to go over. It's just I think that it was like the storyline that they're telling doesn't have them winning the top. You know what I mean? Like it's like they're building to something. I think there's going to be a blow-off match. I think it'll come at the end of the Dusty Classic for the Women's Dusty Classic. And I think we'll see either the big blow-off there or they'll win the Dusty Classic and then go on and challenge again for the tag titles and win. But seeing in the direction what they're going with Duke Hudson and everything like that and the love interest, I think they're definitely going to go down that direction of splitting them up. I did think Dolan and Jane's and look, tell me what you think about this. Like their entrance, like when Mandy comes out, like it is just, she looks like a star. You know what I mean? Like she is a star. She walks out, she has that look, she has that aura, that appeal. Dolan and Jane, I love them in the ring. I think their gimmick is great. I just felt their entrance was very much like Like I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to be like badass and tough. And it's like, it just didn't feel natural at all. And it's like, I felt like I was watching 2 6-year-olds, going out there and just like pulling faces, trying to be, their favorite wrestler and do their best Triple H impression. And look, that's what NXT is there for these performers to develop. I just hope that's one of the things they're going to develop, because that to me, like I started seeing that. And even like at the ending of their match, like after they've just won and retained the titles, she rolls off of Persia and she just starts dancing like that. Like then she starts selling. It's like, there's a little bit of, missing some psychology in certain parts for that team, I believe.
It's an interesting thing about wrestling, isn't it? Because many would argue that that it means they're doing their job in a way, because you could think that the advice that's given to them going out to that match could potentially be, we want you to overdo it. We want you to be so up yourself that people are not just thinking you're gorgeous, but thinking, oh, actually, you think you're too good. Because if we think about it, they are, heels. So that's always the weird fine line that I'm always very interested in, about like when someone annoys you because of how they do something, is that what you should now harness to get more people annoyed at you? So the fact that they overdo their entrance like that, in my mind, is that a good thing? And would I encourage that because that gets more people that would maybe cheer for them because they're good looking to boo them because they're annoying? So it's an interesting balance of like the mentality, because how do you dance that? And I guess every person's is different, so you do it a different way with every person. But I love that discussion, because it's what you don't like might actually be the right thing for them in a weird way, because it gets people off their side. But on the same time, I see what you're saying about the way you tell a story. And NXT is the place to develop and try that stuff for sure. It doesn't always hit.
Yeah, and by all means, like I don't want to shit on them for doing it. It was just something.
I don't think you are.
No, it's just something that I saw that I noticed. Like it was, I would never shit on any talent for doing anything. I think anything is worth a try. Like sometimes you just got to throw stuff out there and see what sticks. And,
but I'm biased as well because I'm a huge Gigi Dolan guy.
Yeah,
I'm putting my cards on the table. She could marry me tomorrow.
Mate, she's already married.
I don't care. We can annul that in 6 hours and be married in the back half of the day. Easy.
All right.
It'll be a busy day for it, but
Darby,
we'll get all the paperwork ready. We're prepped. We should be fine.
Hey, yo, Gigi. I'll go get ordained and we'll do it. We'll stream the wedding. That's
wow.
A special episode of Shooting the Shit. No, but I think as well, like Dolan and Jane, overall that, in the match, I think they look strong. I think that, you definitely saw the signs of Persia and Indy split throughout the match. And then afterwards as well, which we'll get into with the promo. But, to be honest, I enjoyed the finish. I really thought it was a good finish. But it looked like there was a bit of a delay with Indy. Like, you know what I mean? Like Indy looked delayed before she went and made the move. I don't know what that was. Maybe she was waiting for the other to get into position. But, I thought the finish was good. Toxic Attraction ended it strong. I thought it was a heels over strong finish. And like I said, I don't see them even losing the titles for a long time. I think Toxic Attraction, I said at the beginning of the show, Rose, that, they started the show off with Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction. They did that last week. So obviously they're pushing, this faction very, very strongly. I don't see them losing the titles till probably the next half, like maybe even the next half of this year.
Yeah, they're money. Although I nothing makes me more enraged than having to read text messages at the start of a wrestling show. That made me a little bit cranky. But yes, you're right. Like even Dolph Ziggler getting interviewed later in the show had a Toxic Attraction shirt on. They're money. They're all over the show, and they're a massive deal. But like I said, you could take that and plant that at the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania very easily, and they'd still be money. So no matter where they go, it's going to work.
I agree. And I think you could easily turn them babyface as well, either way. Like after a while and they become the cool heels, then you can sort of turn them face, relatively easily. And it's like, it's 3 hot girls. Like who doesn't want to cheer for that? You know what I mean? Like,
and if you think about it, logistically as well, you build up this Dusty Classic with a bunch of teams that everyone's cheering for. Because you do look at the lineups, and there's a lot of face groups in this Women's Dusty Cup. So you're building up for someone to face Toxic Attraction. If they take, whoever wins that takes the belt on them, and Mandy goes to drop something around WrestleMania time, then bang, they could definitely be on Raw the night after.
And you know what? Even have it where it could be Ronda Rousey standing tall as the new champion or Raw champion, whatever, or SmackDown champion, and then boom, Mandy Rose comes out with Toxic Attraction. Mandy Rose.
You could even do it in Becky Lynch's face as well.
Yeah,
that could be an interesting interaction.
Yeah, I mean, a year ago, 2 years ago, people would have just scoffed at the idea of Mandy Rose being in that main event picture, really. But now, I think this NXT run has really given her an opportunity to, not only shine but prove to WWE upper management, whatever it is.
I like senior ups. That's good.
Senior ups, the creative powers. I think that she's obviously, this was an opportunity for her to show what she can do, and that she's not just like a pretty blonde.
Yeah, reinvent herself.
Yeah, and be able to go in there and give a different perspective. But
she's killing it, man. She's bringing honor to the Rose family. I'm so proud of her.
That's it.
Mum talk about it all the time.
Yeah, it's far out, man. There you go. So Wendy Chu looking for a tag team partner for the Dusty Classic, and starts putting it over Dakota Kai to join up, where Dakota Kai is sitting there talking to herself, being a little bit of a crazy. What's your thoughts on this gimmick of Dakota Kai's and going a little bit Looney Tunes?
Oh, look, a lot of people have different ways of coping with stress and, COVID times and trauma in their life. And, I wouldn't, I'd be guilty myself of thinking up imaginary friends here and there. And sometimes some of my real friends I wish were imaginary. Hello to Chris, who I hope is still watching. I understand it's a coping mechanism, but maybe all she needs is a friend. And Wendy Chu might be that friend, because your best friend is the kind of person that would just grab a drink and a pillow and you have a sleepover and talk about all your problems. So I think neither of them realize how well they could help each other in this process to both come out of their shell. So again, from my sucker narrative romantic side, I love this idea because it could help develop both these characters in interesting ways. I think we talked about it last week. You're kind of on the fence with Dakota's, imaginary discussion character, but I feel like it's a stopgap. I don't feel like this is a long-term character, and I think putting these two together might be something interesting for the tournament. Something fun.
I mean, I think it's interesting for something for the time being. To me, Dakota Kai has just never been a performer that has resonated to me, and that's okay because wrestling's subjective. What I don't like, I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of people that go, you know what, she's fucking amazing, and Pierce, you're a fucking 40-year-old idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about. And fair enough. You know what I mean? That's it. We can all have our opinions on that. To me, I don't wish that she gets released. I don't wish ill about her. She's just not my cup of tea.
Right.
That's it. You know what I mean? But I think the character that she's trying, I think that she's trying to find something. Yeah, and I think she's been trying to find a character for a while, but now turning her babyface by teaming her with Wendy Chu, she goes babyface and heel so quickly. You know what I mean? She has a 3-month run as a babyface, then she'll go back to being a heel. And we saw that with, Raquel Gonzalez and, when they went face and then she turned heel and then, you know what I mean? She's done it probably for the last couple of years, has gone face, heel, face, heel.
Yeah, well, again, this time of the year is a weird one because you can have the potential for some of your talent to be treading water until you make those big moves going into WrestleMania season. And we did see recently that Dakota Kai did do a dark match, I think at a SmackDown. So she has performed on a major show for the major minds up there. And there could have been a decision of, great, awesome, we love you. We're going to launch you after WrestleMania into SmackDown. Until then, we just need you to enhance some people, and we're going to get you to work with Wendy in the Dusty Classic and da-da-da. So this is the weird thing about wrestling as well, because we might be looking at her kind of trying to find something and going, oh, she's lost. But it could just be, hey, be here for now until we need you there. But the advantage I see of these two teaming up is just that they're two stopgap characters. Both of them have to evolve in some way. They can't be characters like this forever. So hopefully these two colliding will help them both become something, because I think Dakota Kai can perform and can wrestle, and I thought she did some great stuff in the tag division. And she has a unique promo. I guess I'm on the other side of it. I like her work, so it's what's good about this show. We can kind of talk about it on a basic level from two perspectives. That but like I don't know. She could very much be on the next group of releases, and I could be completely wrong. But I don't know. I've always been a fan. I don't know where to go with Dakota. Hopefully this is something good.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Wendy Chu is definitely over. You know what I mean?
She's awesome.
She's over. She's good in the ring. She's entertaining. You know what I mean? So I think that, as ridiculousness of the sleepy gimmick is, we're going to start to see that evolve as well. Like, I think that, as we said last week, it's not a sustainable, pardon me, it's not a sustainable gimmick.
Yeah,
but
they're both going to evolve.
Over.
Yeah.
So, but next we saw your boy, Grayson Waller, with Sanger and the cops, saying he's been feeling harassed, bullied, he's not sleeping. I really feel that, he's really in his element in this heel role. Like, you can see, I feel like he's loving it and really embracing it. And the promo that he did, like when he went out and, and he's interacting with the cops and he's interacting with Sanger. Then he goes out and he has that interaction with LA Knight, and the cops turn around. LA Knight sort of drops that legal shizzit on him, basically just telling him, you can't also assault me. So this, restraining order means fuck all, basically. And then, but that's the thing. Even then, like, to me, that moment, they really drew it out. Because when Grayson Waller's in there, he's like, "You mean he can hit me? He can attack me? Like, he can do whatever he wants to me? And it's legal?" But you know what I mean? That moment, then the slow turn of him turning around, then boom, you know what I mean? LA Knight laying him out, and then that got a huge pop because they're going, finally, that scumbag Grayson Waller got his got the beat down that LA Knight deserved to give him. But I think that this just shows of how well of a performer that, LA Knight and Grayson Waller could go, because that segment felt to me like an old school, you know what I mean? Like, it took me back, I don't want to say like a Stone Cold McMahon segment, but it took me back to that sort of attitude era of wrestling. Whereas but that, and then the drawn out of it, I thought it was executed fucking perfectly.
Yeah, it was great, man. It's just makes you it just warms your heart every time you see Grayson Waller do something like that to someone. Grayson slipped on the barricade. Yes, that's true. He did. We all saw it in the replay. What a recovery from the slip, though. A forward roll into a stunner. Beautiful. But yeah, it's just great. It tells you a lot that, LA Knight's an amazing talker, and Grayson did a majority of the talking because he's just that damn good. And the references of how Australian, how the Australian legal system works. It's a one-way order and all that kind of stuff. All these references are just so great. And he says the things that gets people either listening or hating him at the same time. It's just magic to watch. And it's good to have someone who can do big money matches with people like AJ Styles and LA Knight and do what they need to do in the ring. But you don't need to use them every week to prove that. They do one match, it's amazing, and then they can talk for a month and just build. And he's a big money fighter, Grayson Waller, and he's just off to the stars, mate. He's put a rocket pack on him. He's a superstar.
Bro, I agree. And you know what, Rose, I want to tell you a funny story. Like, when we were watching this promo, like, my wife, Ashley's not massive into wrestling, but we're sitting there with the baby, and she's listening to him cut a promo, and she goes, "Wow, how fucking ocker is that guy?" Right? Like, and I'm looking at my wife, right? She's born and raised in Sutherland Shire, right? So she knows her ockers, right? So yeah, man. So the funny thing was, and why I popped at it so much, is because I was listening to a clip that Cornette was talking about Grayson Waller, where he goes, yeah, he's got this faint accent, like maybe he's from Australia or the UK, but like it's very, very faint. But then like that's what someone in America is saying. But then like my wife, who is like, you know, a Shirey born and raised, is turning around and saying, oh, wow, how Australian is he? You know,
Funnily you say that because I play some online racing video games in some of my spare time, and a lot of old middle-aged Australian bogans like to play racing video games. So I spend a lot of my time with like these middle-aged dudes racing around racetracks. And one of them, I was telling him about Grayson Waller, and he watches mainstream WWE. He's in his 50s.
Yeah.
But I told him, oh, you should check out NXT, man. You know, Grayson Waller, this Aussie kid, da-da-da. And checked him out. He goes, oh, I like that kid. He's good. He didn't like the Iconics. He thought it was too put on. He thought it was too Aussie. You got to be choking me. He thought that was too much. But he liked Grayson because he was an angry Australian, but not over the top. Like he wasn't Aussieing it up for an American audience, if that makes sense. I don't agree on the Iconics thing, by the way. They're fantastic. They're amazing. But they are very much harnessing Kath and Kim, where Grayson Waller harnesses just a lad who would beat you up in Australia.
For me, I kind of get like the very Conor McGregor-ness of Waller. That, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's an imitation of Conor McGregor because it's definitely not. But you get the same confidence. You get that prize fighter confidence, that same hunger. And it's any prize fighter, like a Money Mayweather, you know, or a Muhammad Ali.
That's the one. Like Mayweather, as a fact, was something that Grayson Waller talked about for years, was a huge inspiration for him. So you're right. He's harnessing that exact energy.
And you know what? That's what big money fighters are, their personalities. And that's, to me, that's the gimmick. He's that big money fighter, as you said, doesn't need to go in there and wrestle week in and week out. He can entertain on a different level because he's that over as a heel. And you know what? He as soon as he gets that sort of babyface reaction, you see him turn around and he can sort of shoot something down to the audience to bring that heat back up to him. So, you know, I mean, he knows what he's doing. And I think he's probably one of the best talkers I think he's the best talker in NXT next to LA Knight. I think that those two are probably the best on the mic, hands down.
I don't think it's even close. I think he's just eclipsed everyone so quickly and so effortlessly. And I think I'd even go as far to say if you moved him up to one of the main shows right now, he would be right up there with the Miz's and all the other guys who can just throw down every week very easily. He's just got it, man.
You know what's funny?
Got it.
I'm in a lot of wrestling groups, right? And I see a lot of comments, and someone said that he's just the Australian Miz. And my comment was, wow, that's a great compliment to give him. And the guy goes, what do you mean? And he goes, the Miz has been in WWE for 15 years. He's held every single championship there. He's probably one of the most tenured veterans in the business that probably most young up-and-coming performers would want to work with to get to the level, and probably works his ass off to get there. So, yeah, I'd say that's probably a pretty fucking good comparison. Yep.
It's not even a bias thing anymore. He's proved himself objectively on NXT that he can just excel in that system, whatever that system entails. And I'm sure it's not easy. He just shines in it, and he's an entertainer. And I couldn't be prouder. Couldn't be happier for him.
Cornette being off base with his opinion, he would never.
What did he say?
Just what I said before. Cornette's a fucking bro. Like Cornette's working everybody. Like there's no way a human being could be that angry 24/7. You'd fucking die.
Here's the best way to not be thrown off by any of Cornette's opinions. Just don't listen to them.
I don't. Sometimes they come across. I got banned by Jim Cornette anyway. So.
I wish him well. I don't know what he's talking.
I don't know why I got banned. I don't know why he banned me though. So
he's the guy with the tennis racket, right?
Yeah. The old guy. You know, I think he's like my dad's age or maybe my grandfather's age. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, there you go. Hey, Uncle Vince. Okay, so moving right along. So Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs sitting in a bar talking about his date with Cadence Carter. And she said, bro, you're like a younger brother to me. And he thought that was a good thing.
Who is the girl at the bar that they talk to?
I have no idea. I think she's
I
going to
think
be a new
she's new.
character.
Yeah, and she might be involved with them in some way, but she's gorgeous. She just came out of nowhere. I was like, "Whoa, hello!" And
I
then
think a good manager, like have her as the bartender.
potentially, yeah. I was just like, okay. So they added a character, and it's kind of like I enjoyed this the last couple of weeks. He's kind of love struck goofiness, but it's kind of getting to that point now when you like find a random TV show you watch late at night, and then it's like back to back episodes. And by about the third episode, you're like, all right, I think I've gotten the gist of this now. I can change the channel and watch something else. That's where I'm at with this kind of interaction now. Like,
Yeah.
again, this is just so far away from any of my worldly experiences. Like,
It just takes me back to being like, yeah, a teenager or in my early 20s, like going through like this sort of drama. And I don't know, bro, like I just felt like they're doing these romance angles so often, and I get it, like they're trying to over sexualize certain things, and that's what it is. Like you look at performance in WWE, these are like men and women at their physical peak that look absolutely amazing. Fuck. Yeah, I mean they're going to be around each other so long. There's going to be these things happening. So why not put it on screen and make it into an angle?
All power to them.
I just feel like too much. Like just you did it with like Indy, then you've and Indy and Dexter. Then you've done it with Zion, Quinn, and Elektra Lopez. Then you're doing it now with Persia and Duke Hudson. Then you
I guess this one
like,
for me, it's more the cultural thing. Like I just I've never been into country music, and I just can't imagine sitting at a bar having conversation with any of these guys about anything. So it's just kind of like I've just kind of zoned out. But I wish him well. I hope he meets the girl he likes and stuff. But I just don't really care.
Yeah, it's just one of those moments where I think that you and me just sit there back and go, "Oh, these kids."
Okay, yeah, right.
we're not in that demographic, bro, that they're trying to hit with that segment clearly. But Persia and Indy backstage, a little bit of a back and forth, trying to. I think that you saw the little bit of a tension there. Then Indy walks off with Dexter, and then Duke Hudson, rears his head around the corner and walks off with Persia. So again, they're building towards something. It's going to come to add to the Dusty Classic, and I think that that's going to be the big blow off.
Did you catch what he said by chance, Duke Hudson, before he grabbed her hand? He said something. I couldn't hear what he said.
Yeah, I think it was something like, "You going to go see something? You want me to show you something special?"
Wow. Okay. She just came over and went, and then just grabbed her hand. It didn't make any. Oh, wow, guys. NXT Round Up 2.0 brought to you in front of a live studio audience.
There you go.
Thank you. Sorry I was late. Kill me. So, yeah, Duke Hudson likes Persia now. Yep. Cool. Yep. We'll see where that goes.
I like how the fact that they actually do things with social media as well, like Persia putting flowers out on Valentine's Day saying thanks, Duke. Like that to me is like, this is why we live in such a good era, because it's like even if you're not giving much, like from WWE to do, you can still go out on your social media and get yourself over and get yourself established in character. I think doing things like that is just a smart way to do things.
Yes, and we all give thanks to our Lord and Savior Zack Ryder for paving the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Showed us how to use the internet properly.
Exactly. But look, moving on to the next segment, which was Tommaso Ciampa's promo. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant fucking promo. Like this guy, why he's still in NXT, I don't know.
Yeah, he does feel like the guy who refuses to sell his plot of land for the building of the new shopping center. Like there's just one building on the end that's like, I ain't moving. This is my home. And he kicks his garage door and walks away. And you're like,
we're never property.
We're never knocking that place down. We're going to have to build around his house, guys. He ain't moving. That's Tommaso Ciampa when he's in his 70s. That's what he's going to do. I mean, he's awesome. He's always been. Get off my lawn. So... yeah, I mean, he's the stalwart there, so he's playing that role beautifully. I mean, this is his house, and it's always unpredictable with Tommaso because he could defend that honorably or he could defend it with any means necessary, and it's always a fine line with him whether he's hurting you or helping you. So, and he seems to be juggling that line at the moment. But I think on a business level, he is someone who is absolutely treading water until after WrestleMania, and he's going to get involved.
You reckon he's going to go up to the main roster?
Yeah, well, he appeared this week, yesterday on Raw, right? He got involved with some things with Ziggler.
Yeah, but like they did the same thing with Grayson Waller and AJ.
True. It could be a feature, but I think it's time. I think it's more Tommaso's time than it is Waller's time right now to be able to do something. So I think so. I mean, what else does he do if he stays now? What does he do?
I don't think there's anything much for him to do past this. I think it is time for him to go up, and unless they don't see anything in him to put him into the main roster. But I see a money feud between him and Randy Orton. I think that is where the money's.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. That could be amazing.
Yeah. So, no, all good. Then we saw the North USA Championship, Carmelo Hayes versus Cameron Grimes. Bro, this match, I kind of got lost in this match. I was so into it. I was even forgetting. I had to remind myself to take notes throughout this match. I just got completely lost in the moment of this match. I thought it was fucking brilliant. Cameron Grimes and Carmelo Hayes together, this match was absolutely just, sensational from bell to bell. You know what I mean? And you know what? Cameron Grimes, another one who's probably main roster ready and came main roster ready to NXT. Hands down, I think it's time for him to sort of, I honestly thought they were going to put the title on him. I think it would have been, it made sense to put the belt on him. But again, he's one of those performers you can put him in any spot in the card and he's going to fill that role perfectly.
Yeah, this was one of those matches that felt like it could have gone either way, which is always a very exciting thing when you have a match where you're not quite sure who's going to win. If we back up to before this match, they showed shots of both of them walking towards the arena earlier in the show.
Yeah.
And I had to think about it because it's something that WWE always does in their production that annoys me. No one in the backstage area acknowledges a huge, massive, famous wrestler walking down a hallway. Everyone's nice. Good timing, Robbo. You even did it with the comment coming up. You're a pro. But no one ever acknowledges when Randy Orton it could be like Goldberg or something walking down a hallway coming to talk, and there's just people on their clipboards, as if you wouldn't look up and go, "Oh, hey, look, there's Cameron Grimes. He's going for the title tonight." It blows my mind that everyone ignores these huge stars. You watch another sport like UFC, and if a fighter's walking to the ring, everyone's looking at them. Everybody,
because you know what it is in wrestling. It's probably they're saying they've been told not to look up, or it's don't be a mark, don't be a mark, don't be a mark. Holy fuck, it's Randy Orton.
If anyone walked past, I would go, "Oh, whoa, look, that's Cameron Grimes." Whoa, I don't know why. It just annoys me. Why don't you do that? I'd look up. But yes, you're right.
Sell shit, brother.
Say what?
No sell that shit. They just no sell it.
Just shrug my shoulders in the background.
Just I don't care, man. I fucking hate this job, bro.
Who cares? Just full on Toriano. So yeah, amazing. I mean, these two guys just have the chemistry, don't they? And they built it up, and they clearly believe in both of these guys. And it's fun to go into this, not quite sure who's going to win it. And I was zoned out of this match as well, but for a different reason for you. Our house is getting painted right now.
Oh, right. So you were.
They're painting the outside of the house. And to get access to the balcony, which is right next to me here, they just climb up on a ladder. So out of nowhere, sometimes there's just a dude on my balcony painting, and it sends our dog crazy. So in the middle of this match, suddenly there's a guy standing on my balcony, and my dog just went nuts, my little dog, Freddie. So in the middle of them just killing it, I had to kind of grab him and settle him down. But I did catch a big gist of it, and incredible. Just this match made me think about almost the whole show, that there wasn't any huge mistakes that felt like in any of them. Everyone was very, very solid through the show. And this match, especially, their timing, just Carmelo's leg drop from the top is just unreal the way he hits that.
Yeah, dude, he's one of the performers that, since the breakout tournament has just been an absolute standout star. And obviously winning it, then going and winning the title. As much I thought they were going to put the title on Grimes, I can see why they're not. There's they can still build him up more, Carmelo Hayes. Doesn't necessarily mean the feud between Grimes and him is finished. I think that they can continue this feud for another month easily.
Yeah, sure, they can continue it, but also both their characters warrant well to where they are positionally right now. Carmelo Hayes' whole character is about being the champ, having the goal, being the A guy, and that works really well. He is a stronger character with a championship, whereas Cameron Grimes is the chaser, right? He's just always grinding and fighting, and he can do really fun stuff like Dexter Loomis stuff, and also go for a title. So he's an all-rounder. He's the Andrew Simons of NXT. He can do it all, Cameron Grimes. So, he can do anything. He doesn't necessarily need the title as much as I think Carmelo does right now, because it's making him a huge deal.
Oh, absolutely. And as part of his whole persona, like his whole gimmick is basically him sitting there telling he's the A champion and putting himself like, I find his promos get a little bit repetitive. Like, Mello is money,
agreed.
Mello don't miss. Like, okay, dude, like you can say that shit for maybe 2 weeks in a row. Third week, I'm sitting there going, you have no substance as a character. As a performer in ring, amazing. As a character, you're lacking.
Again, it's a good example of accentuating the strengths, because his one thing is doing that, talking himself up, and it works way better when he has that belt. So keep him the champ, give him a really strong reign. But, not jumping ahead, but it sounds like his next challenger is an interesting proposition.
Absolutely. And paying attention to the products is for marks. Not necessarily, but in this case, it was more of a joke, Robbo. I wasn't.
I think he's making a joke too. I like it. Pay attention to the product is for marks. Yeah, sure. Mark
I'm going to make that into a t-shirt.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Paying attention to the product is for marks. That's the I'm putting that on a shirt.
But yeah. I just work on a natural level.
That's it, bro. I'm just chill 24/7, bro.
Yeah, man.
They're in Florida. I'm sure everything's legal and above board there.
Yeah.
But next what we had, we definitely saw Carmelo going over strong in that match, but then we saw Kaylee Ray and Io Shirai breaking shit.
Yeah, this used to be what your office would do for their Christmas party. You go to a room in the inner CBD, and you'd be able to like smash plates and stuff. And they say it's very cathartic and it's like a good team building exercise. And now they're just doing it on NXT to get tag teams together. I thought this was hilarious.
I was just like, what? But even the funny thing, I liked it when Io goes to Zoe, I like her.
Yeah.
Like, her whole thing has been like, I don't like you. And then she's like, you know what? I fucking like Kaylee Ray.
Yeah.
But,
great gimmick. I like to smash stuff.
I actually like the fact that Io Shirai is probably one of the only Japanese performers signed to WWE besides Boa. Oh no, Boa's Chinese. I apologize, but Io Shirai is probably the only Japanese performer I haven't seen them try and make her look like a clown. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's something I feel like they do a lot with Japanese stars. Like, look at Jacket Time, look at the Kabuki Warriors, look at Taka Michinoku, and I think I said that we had the same. What was his little mate called with the long hair?
Funaki.
Yeah, you know what I mean? With the Indeed. Like, I just feel like Japanese
make an argument recently for, like, I think Asuka's Japanese, right?
Yeah, Asuka's Japanese.
Yeah, I'd say Asuka and Shinsuke were probably the beginning of being able to do culturally themed characters without making them silly. They both, I think, were given respect, but still being able to represent their culture, which I think is an important thing. Sorry?
I said I agree.
Yeah. So it has shifted a little bit, but I see what you're saying. Like, there's not an abundance of it. But I could say they're two good examples of, like, that modern shift of, because the Asuka's a great example. Her entrance is almost a kabuki entrance. She's wearing the mask and dancing around in all the rows. It could very easily be distasteful or over the top, but obviously with her guidance and stuff, they've made that into an iconic entrance in WWE. And it's probably helped a lot of Americans that probably didn't know much about Japanese culture to maybe look at it on a bit of a lighter note. So it all can evolve, but yeah, there definitely needs to be more.
Yeah, I just feel like, what I mean by they embarrass the Japanese talent is like, look at how Asuka, they turned her heel, they put her in the Kabuki Warrior gimmick, and they had, her like just basically talking gibberish, you know what I mean? And then like now Jacket Time, it's the same sort of thing. I just feel like, I don't know whether it's they don't respect the Japanese talent or they don't know how to give them an entertaining character without it being, I don't want to say tongue in cheek, because I don't think it like they're making racist jokes about it, but I think that they're just making it goofy because it's like we don't know what else to do with this Japanese star. Like, they're amazing performers. Like, Kushida is amazing. We don't know what to do with him, so we'll put him in a tag team and call it Jacket Time.
Yeah, there's no denying there's been a clear and historical difficulty with the language barrier. So if you can't speak English, it's going to be incredibly hard for you to get to the top of a Western audience, because Western wrestling is all promo, it's all storyline, it's all narrative and emotion and reaction and stuff. Whereas someone can shine in a Japanese culture where it's all about performance and in-ring and physicality and respect and honor and da-da-da. So you're right. There is a limitation to anyone who can't, let alone speak English, let alone be able to do a speedy enough promo to keep up with the likes of the Paul Heymans of the world and stuff like that. So, there's going to be, you need to accentuate the strengths. So something Asuka's amazing at is when she screams in her native language, it's terrifying. So let's accentuate that and make that a strength of hers. And Io does a similar thing. I don't know, Chris loves it. So it's always going to be a barrier that you jump over. And I wonder if one day we will have a wrestling superstar in the Western audience as big as a John Cena who doesn't speak English. I'd love to see it, but it's very hard to translate it unless you have a translator.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the perfect thing. Managers, you know what I mean? Give him a heater, give him, give him a voice. You know what I mean? Like, you could think if like they gave Shinsuke Nakamura and they changed his gimmick a little bit and had him be like a Paul Heyman guy and have like him not even talk and like just go in the ring and be like, you could turn him into like the Japanese killer, make him the next Japanese mafia, whatever it is you want to do. You could do so much with it. Put a Paul Heyman with him who can get either heat or get over depending on what the directive is for the character. But I think then do that. Don't make goofy characters. Just give them an opportunity to get over by giving them a mouthpiece.
Yeah, potentially. It's hard to find a lot of good. It's hard to find more than one Paul Heyman. That's the tough thing, is that you need someone who can do that for every different person and be able to, translate it and stuff. It's tough to get, but I agree. More managers. I love managers.
Same here.
But it's a tough one, man. The language barrier is always going to be tough in the Western market.
I agree, dude. But Dusty Classic final. Your boys, the Creed brothers versus MSK. Man, this was a one-sided ass whooping to me. Like this match was like the Creed brothers, like just beating the living breaks. Like they beat these boys like they owed them money. Like it was ridiculous. Like there was a couple of cool spots by MSK. Like it wasn't a one-sided squash match by any means, but like, man, the Creed brothers, man, these guys are going to be fucking huge.
Yeah, they're awesome. And talking about great managers, Bivens is just the man in NXT. I think he's killing it in his managerial role, and his emotion at the end when they got the win was just fantastic and made me really invest in all of it. And this is a showcase for the Creed brothers and the Diamond Mine, and these guys are money, absolute money. And they showed it. And their promo can get stronger. It's fine. It's not amazing, but it can get stronger. And but their wrestling is just unbelievable. And like just to win matches by just clotheslining someone into the ground, like just absolutely that sitting clothesline. I just never thought it could look that mad. And it just looks so good.
And I think when the more they get experienced, the better they get as performers. Dude, it's going to be amazing. The only thing is because like WWE's view on tag team wrestling, like they're hot on it for a minute and then they're like, fuck it for the next, is like I could see them probably splitting them up. And
Are they brothers, actually brothers?
Yeah, they're shoot brothers. They're like Olympians. They're Olympian.
The
Like
chance, okay, well, that's two things that are working in their favor. They're Olympians and they're actually related. So you can, WWE have proven that teams like the Usos and stuff can go on and have healthy careers as a team. So, there's a chance they could succeed as a group, but then, I see value in them individually as well down the road. But, they'd love to have another Hardy Boys, another bloody,
dude, how would you like to see them versus like the Usos?
I just watched that. Yeah, put that straight into my veins.
The Creed brothers versus the Usos, man, or like even put New Day in there, and
yeah.
I mean, like fresh blood into that, like which is what the main roster needs. You know what I mean? Like they need more tag teams, like on Raw.
Give me the Creed brothers versus the Hurt Business. That'd be great. Benjamin and old mate.
Yeah. Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, Cedric. Yeah. That'd be sick.
But you know what? This match, man, like MSK, like they're another lot of performers that I put in the same category as Dakota Kai. And again, nothing against them. It's just like I don't really resonate with like hipster millennials.
Dude bro culture, yeah.
Yeah,
neither do I, but they're good looking boys, and they're definitely a formidable team. Like some of the moves they do just highlight real stuff. It just like the dives over the top and the backflip with the push, and just some really, really cool ideas. And they're a team that you could easily put on the front of a cereal box, and you could turn them heel next week. So I don't know. I mean, there was a tinge of maybe they turn a bit darker after this loss because they were pretty confident about going back to back. But
Sure.
It's a nice idea to give them to be the ones that come close to the Creed brothers and realize, because the Creed brothers did say it earlier in the show. The only reason MSK won last year is because we weren't in it, and they kind of proved that right there. So that'd be a tough pill for MSK to swallow. I'm interested to see whether they do and get back to work, or whether they start maybe taking business into their own hands a little bit.
Interesting to see what they're going to do. But next we saw a promo package for Nikita Lyon. She's did you ever watch Futurama?
Yes.
Yeah. Like I see her and I just go death by snoo snoo. Like she just is like this bit, like she looks like a phenomenal athlete. Like she is jacked. She is fucking jacked. And you know what? Amazing. But like as soon as she starts talking, she loses you.
Who's your dad? You keep talking about your dad being a rock star. Who the frig is your dad? I need to know who it is. I've searched everywhere for it. My dad was a rock star. Then last week she hinted he was a roadie maybe. And then this week she was like, after my dad's gigs. So is he in the band or is he a roadie? And I need to know who he is because you keep talking like you're the daughter of a rock star, but you won't tell us who it is. And as a music trivia guy, it's driving me bonkers every time she does it. But I can't tell whether they want us to like her or dislike her by these promos. I find it all. Also, you know what I really hope this becomes, Piers? I hope this becomes NXT's version of Hansel from Zoolander, because she said something in that promo that made no sense. She said, "My dad, after he finished a gig once, said to me, don't settle things with your fists. You're meant to bring everyone together. So that's why I'm here in NXT to punch people in the face." And I'm like, that's exactly what your dad just told you not to do.
I know. It's like, yeah, you should dance, bring people together. And then the next shot is her dancing at what looks like a strip club. Like,
but it's like, I decided to bring everyone together with dance and song and music. And that's why I'm going to punch everyone in the face. Like, no, it doesn't make sense. So I hope they're doing this on purpose. And she comes out full on Hansel from Zoolander. Like, what's Bark made out of? And like, I respect Sting. I don't listen to any of his music, but I respect what he does.
I really hope that like she comes out and she's just like that, like just a complete like belligerent idiot that makes no sense. But the thing is as well, like her singing, bro, like there was so much auto tune on it, like I couldn't tell if she could sing or what. Like it just sounded so robotic.
They got to be messing with us, man. This has got to trigger us, right? This is to make us not like her. It has to be, right? She's a bad guy, right?
Julian Hall 2.0.
I don't know. But either way, look, she's an awesome wrestler. I've heard a lot about what she did before NXT, and I'm really excited to see her wrestle next week because I want to see her perform as a wrestler. But this character, I cannot tell whether they're making me dislike her or I just really dislike how they're trying to sell me this person's. But it just feels so awkward and off that my brain can't handle it.
I think she looks phenomenal. She looks like an athlete. She
looks great. She's a movie star.
Yeah, like she looks like a star.
She has that action movie face when she looked like she did the turn. I was like, whoa, is this like don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see it, but the singing, who's your dad? Who is your father? Just tell me who your dad is. It's trying. Well,
you know what's funny? Like her vignette was going, and my wife had just put the baby down and walks in, and she goes, "Piers, what the fuck are you watching?" And I'm like, "It's wrestling." She's like, "That's wrestling." And you're seeing like booty like bounce it, and I'm like, "Yeah, just wait. There's gonna be wrestling in a second. Any second. Come on."
It's the story of my life. My partner came home today, Zoe, and she caught me choosing the size of my genitals on the Cyberpunk 2077 video game. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "It's part of it's an RPG. You've got to set your hair color and everything. You just caught me at genitals. It's a 2-second process."
Yeah, wrestling. You're a crazy man.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see her next week.
100%, me too.
Yep.
Imperium promo starts off with Gunther getting the shits at the crowd. Saying, it's Gunther.
It's Gunther. Gunther. Just a straight T. And it's Imperium.
And you know what? And then the crowd just started chanting, Walter.
That's fine. He's a baddie. It's fine. It annoys him.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
It's just fuck that. You know what I mean? Again, fans just needing to get themselves over or just to fucking be involved in the show. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? We get it. You're a smart mark, bro. Cool.
Yeah.
You know whatever.
Yeah. Some people love doing that. But I like the ride. I like being told how to pronounce someone's name. I think it's respectful. Gunther, you got it.
Yeah, Gunther. But the funny thing is we see Solo Sikoa come out and then they start chanting fucking Uso at him.
True. So yeah, it's just a thing, isn't it? It's it's fine. It didn't bother me here as much as it bothered me in the past. I think Gunther and Imperium did a great job at moving through it. They all talked really well. I like all the way they talk. It's different to everyone else on the show. So it's a different approach. And do they have it's very old schooly in the way they talk, the ring general and all that stuff. And some time to make Sikoa look like, they've kind of done that thing where you punch the biggest guy in the prison yard Sikoa just got straight for Gunther. I'll just smack you in the face, bro. So, but then it didn't happen. So I guess they're going to set up to something at some point, but I thought, this is going to happen right now, but it didn't really.
How fucking stiff is that match going to be though? They're going to beat the shit out of each other.
Well, these are you just see them across the board here at NXT. The way they're booking the experienced talent with the new guys, putting D'Angelo with Dunn, and now we're seeing Sikoa having a match with Gunther, and we saw AJ with Waller, and but they're really doing a good job at taking new matchups and using them to enhance new people. I think they're doing a really good job at it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that they're definitely utilizing what they got, and I think bringing Ziggler down into NXT, let's face it, what the fuck Ziggler been doing for the last 12 months?
Making bank, probably.
Yeah, making bank, but doing nothing. You know what I mean? Sitting in catering.
That's my dream.
Getting his hair fucking crimped. You know what I mean?
It looks good.
My dream too, bro. But I think this should have happened a year ago. In reality, I think it's perfect that he goes down to NXT.
Yeah, it's great.
He goes in there as the big money icon name, and I think him and, the only thing is him having a match with Tommaso Ciampa. Why not have him go in there and bring someone randomly in from the main roster, have them challenge for the NXT championship, give him a month-long feud with Bron Breakker, have Bron go over, the old school way of wrestling, right? You bring someone in to the territory, but the territory champion goes over, looks strong, but you have a name that's put him over. That's the same thing here. You could still bring in Ziggler. He could come down to NXT, do a month-long feud, with Bron Breakker, put him over at the end of it, it's not going to affect him one bit at the end of the day as far as his pay or as far as like how he's perceived in the fans' eyes, because he's been around for so long. Right.
Yeah, I
So
think.
it doesn't matter.
Do you think that's what they're going to do?
I fucking know. I think they are. There's no way they'll put if they take the NXT title off Breaker, then that's what's the whole point of NXT 2.0? It's because of a fresh start for new talent. There's no way they would take Breaker, have him drop the title to Ziggler. Breaker will drop the title when I think he'll hold the title for close to a year and he'll drop it to another, 2.0 NXT star, not a named veteran.
I think I'm going to make a prediction here. I think Bron Breakker shows up on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. But I think he shows up regardless of whether he's still holding the title or not. I don't think he drops it to... I think if we lead to a Ziggler beats Tommaso and then goes on to a feud with Breakker and we have a Bron Breakker-Ziggler feud around the WrestleMania time, if Breakker retains, I think the NXT champion could show up on Raw the next night and make a huge statement and then go on to do, like you said, be a champion for like another year and make that big statement there. But they clearly want to let everyone in the world know who Bron Breakker is for a reason. He's crushing it. He's killing it.
And I think that's the main thing, like what they do. And I think to go back a little bit with the fans chanting Uso and stuff like this, because WWE not acknowledging it, the fans know who they're fucking related to. Just acknowledge it, man. It gives them more of a lineage. It gives them more, like, you know what I mean? Like they know they come from good stock. You know what I mean? Like Brooks Jensen being, Bull Buchanan's son. You know what I mean? Like Bo Beverly's son being, Von Wagner. Scott Rick Steiner's son, Bron Breakker. You know what I mean? All these stars. Why not fucking do it? You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense not to. You know what I mean?
Unless they're scared of having too many second generation people. It's anything I can think of. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the fans are going to make it happen no matter what. But, I think Bron Breakker's doing a good job at kind of building his own identity so far, which is good. He's not going too far into his family heritage. Breakker is the best non-Aussie on NXT, I reckon. That's an interesting call.
That's I agree.
So he's in like what, 8th place?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe hard 10th. But I think that the next match, which was the main event, which is Bron Breakker versus Santos Escobar with a Legado del Fantasma. To me, no surprise that Santos did the favors for Breakker tonight. I wasn't surprised at all, to be honest. I would have liked to seen Santos win because I think that he's probably that big money player. Even like, I dare say, even like a Tommaso Champa that could even go up to the main roster and be there. Is he going to be too small? That's the thing. But having Legado with him combats that. You know what I mean? Like Elektra Lopez, money. Legado del Fantasma with Wilder Mendoza, money. You know what I mean? Like the gimmick is over. But I think he deserves a main event title run. He can be that sort of champion, that heel champion that could really hold it. But again, they're not going to take I knew they were going to drop the title to Escobar. Like that was.
He's a great first opponent for Bron. Sometimes main events like this just happen how you expect them, and they happen how you expect them. So, I expected a run-in by Dolph. I expected Tommaso to probably stop that from getting 2 out of the way. They had some awesome near falls, and the super kick, my God, the super kick that Dolph Ziggler gave to Bron Breakker on the replay looked incredible. Looked like something out of a movie. That low-angle shot, he just extended fully into Breakker's face. It looked so good. So there's some great moments, and it's crazy to think, but after a 2-hour show, there was a bit of fatigue going into this main event. There were so many banger matches back to back to back. Like they gave us a lot of wrestling. Yeah, I think they just seemed puffed. Like to start with a weapons match, and then we've got Dusty Classic tag teams where it's just crazy spot after crazy spot, and it was a full-on 2 hours. But even by this point, I was kind of just watching the main event with a bit more exhaustion than I normally would. So not their fault, just a crazy amount of stuff put into 2 hours, I think. But yeah, I agree with everything you said about Del Fantasma and that whole group, and Escobar and everything. They're amazing together, and I like all their little pieces, and I hope they go on and do more stuff. But yeah, a perfect first guy for Bron Breakker, which could potentially be a really long and strong run as champion, I think.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? Santos Escobar, another second generation performer, his father, El Fantasma.
Oh, there you go. Right. Yeah. Beautiful. You know, I'm second generation commentator.
Really?
Yes. I'm the love child of Bobby the Brain Heenan and Ed Sheeran.
Whoa, that's an interesting mix. Jesus. I'm not sure how the genetics work on that one, but
it was a crazy after party.
That's it, man. But I thought Bron Breakker and Santos Escobar told a pretty cool story. I thought the match was solid. You know, afterwards, you know, well, actually before that, we saw the Dolph Ziggler interview and, you know, saying that he's going to break down into, you know, Champa's house. Yeah. I think they're going to have a pretty banging match, to be honest. I think the match will be banging.
Yeah, it'll be good, but I don't know what Ziggler was talking about. It was like a drunk person you meet in, like bump into at the side of a reception at a wedding, like you don't really know them, and then just like talking about random stuff. I
kind of felt this NXT just ended like it was like, okay.
There was no tune in next week to find out what happens here. The ending shot was just Bron Breakker is still your champion. The end.
Yeah, see, I would have liked to have seen like a little bit of a little bit of fuckery at the end, just to leave me to want to come back, because I just, you know what, it's like you just sort of watch there and it's just like, okay,
that's it, I guess. Yeah, it's always tough when they just end with a full stop. But we know we have Ziggler and Champa next week, which would be a big argument for who steps up next to Bron. So I think that'll be a bit of fun, and also we've got Waller and LA Knight fighting each other, so they left us with enough to look forward to. But yeah, like and Carmelo and Dunn. So yeah, there's enough to look forward to. But that main event was just full stop, the end.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. But that has been NXT Roundup, ladies and gentlemen. For everyone who tuned in live, we appreciate.
Full stop the end.
Full stop the end. Boom! Hit my music. Bang! But shout out to the great Alan Funk on that one. But yeah, look, that's been NXT Roundup 2.0. What a show for Vengeance Day. Guys, we did have a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning, but hey, that shit happens. We make do. We keep rolling. We're professional. That's how we do shit here. But guys, huge shout out to our sponsors, healthvape.com and sleeps.com. Use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount at your final purchase. Guys, if you're tuning in on YouTube, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, hit that share, give us a comment. If you're listening to us on any podcast platform, do me a favor, leave us a 5-star review. It helps us out. And if you're tuning in on Twitch, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. It is much appreciated. But guys, until next time, we're going to see you again very, very soon. But from Rose and myself, take care, all the best, and welcome to Vengeance Day, bitches. Peace.